in what might have been their biggest game of the year, certainly their biggest game of the year so far, Evan.
Yes.
The Patriots got key contributions from the guys we've been expecting to come up in big games. This is a post-game edition of the Foxborough Report, brought to you by 1 in 100. If you're looking for cheap tickets to concerts, sporting events, even if you're trying to get into the next Patriots game, or
which you probably should after tonight. I mean,
Patriots and Red Sox, get it while it's hot. Seriously, check out 1in100.co and you can get your tickets for the price of a slice of pizza. Evan, tonight, big game players make big game plays, big time spots.
Yes,
Patriots certainly got that tonight from familiar names: Rob Gronkowski, Steven Gostkowski, the Owskis. The big game tonight. Also, Sony Michel.
Yeah, we'll get to
I would
all
say
of them.
this may have been, given the stakes, his best game of his career. There's a big market teaser for you. I want to start with Rob Gronkowski, though. Just 3 catches. There were a lot of questions about why he wasn't being targeted more, but I think Bill Belichick put it great in his post-game press conference. When asked about Gronkowski's lack of catches, Belichick said Gronk had a great game, both blocking and receiving.
Yeah.
And given the way the Patriots ran the ball tonight, Gronkowski, I think it's more than what you saw on the stat sheet.
I think Gronk let his play do the talking with the whole best tight end in the league argument here tonight. He didn't have necessarily the biggest game in the stat sheet of his career or anything like that, but 2 key things: the blocking in the run game, as you mentioned, and the other thing, Tom Brady said to me after the game that I'm going to keep on going to Gronk in big moments.
Yep.
And in big moments tonight, Rob Gronkowski was the best player on the field for the Patriots offense, and that's exactly what they needed. I mean, obviously the big catch on the final drive, the catch before that, on the drive before that with the stiff arm and all those things. When a moment gets bright, when it gets brightest, when it gets down to it, 40-40, 2 minutes to go, need a big play.
Where else are you going with the ball?
Tom Brady's going to Rob Gronkowski every single time, and tonight Gronk made another play. It reminded me a little bit of that Steelers game last year.
Yes,
where you just
definitely flashbacks to that.
Where you just knew that Tom Brady was going to Gronk at least once, right, for a big play.
And we had a Duron Harmon end zone tip drill interception.
Okay,
so
there you go.
definitely shades. I do want to say this as we wrap up the best tight end in the league talk.
Yeah.
It wasn't just in the running game. Rob Gronkowski blocking in the passing game, set a chip block to help Brady find Edelman for a 3rd down conversion.
Yep.
Just plays Travis Kelce is not going to make, has never made,
Yep.
unless he changes things. The way he approaches the game will never make. I think Rob Gronkowski cemented himself tonight. Sorry, Booger McFarland. We talk about the running game, the success there. Sony Michel. He looked good tonight, and look, Miami's one thing, Indy's another. Not in terms of the defenses, but in the stake of the game. He's an SEC kid. He's played in some big games, but he got the yards when he needed them tonight. 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s, in the red zone. He picked it up. He was still running hard, even with that knee injury.
Yeah.
Again, I think tonight, all things considered, may have been the best game he's had so far as a Patriot.
It feels like every week we say that because he just keeps getting better and better. And the SEC thing is a great point. The stage is not too big for him, and that was something that when they drafted him, that Bill Belichick and Nick Cassera really stressed after they drafted him was, hey, we saw this guy in the college football playoff put up back-to-back huge performances. We know that playoff games and Sunday night football games and Super Bowls aren't going to be too big for him. Tonight, at the moment, wasn't too big. We obviously knew the Kansas City run defense was going to be bad. It's been bad all year, and they exploited it. That's what you got to do. When you have a weakness on the opposition, you got to exploit it. Sony Michel is a huge part of that. He had a couple of really nice runs I liked. Early on in the game, he had one where he showed some patience to allow his blocking to develop, and he exploded off the edge and gained 15 yards. The other one was probably his best cut of the year. You're going to watch that one on the highlight reel. He makes a defender break his ankles in the hole. Great moments tonight here from Sony Michel, who just keeps getting better and better and better.
And I'll say this off the highlights. Some people are surprised Michel's doing this. People who watch him in college, not as much.
Yeah.
He falls forward when he gets tackled. He had over 100 yards tonight. I would guess a good chunk of that came after contact. When he gets hit, he's not allowing the defender to drive him backwards. He's falling forward. It's maybe only a yard or two at a time, but those yards add up. They matter, and it's been a long time, maybe since Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, that the Patriots have had a running back, an every down back. They had Blunt, who was that was specifically his game, but an every down back who can fall forward like that. I think Michel's been great at that.
Yeah, I think Bill Belichick says it all the time that you can really gain 2 extra yards per carry if you just lower that shoulder and just fall forward on a play instead of getting driven back.
He's 6 feet tall. That's 2 yards. If you're going forwards instead of backwards, and that becomes a 4-yard swing as if you get pushed backwards.
I mean, I think that is just what's the great part about it for people like me that have been on the Sony train for the very beginning.
Yeah.
You know, to see the reactions after the first 2 games of his NFL career, Patriots career, to what they are now and how great he's looked these last 3 games. I mean, this kid's a stud. He's going to be a stud. As long as he stays healthy, he's going to be a great player for the Patriots for a long time.
And now I'm back to another one of the Patriots veterans, one of the longest tenured Patriots who really helped them out tonight. That's Stephen Gostkowski.
Tough one.
Wow. It's been a long night. Stephen Gostkowski, a guy who's caught heat in the last couple of years, hasn't been quite as reliable as he was early in his career, but he was nails tonight. 5 for 5. The last 2 kicks, he hits from 50.
Yeah, the 50-yarder was the big one.
That was the big one. And then, of course, the game winner. And there were talks as recently as this offseason that the Patriots needed to bring another kicker in. And I don't know if they win this game with a rookie kicker tonight. We've seen what rookie kickers, what young kickers have been around the league. He was excellent in this game.
Yeah, the 50-yarder was the big one, right? I mean, they were in a position there where they really needed points to make the lead 7 points from 4. He hits the 50-yarder. He gives them that lead. Tyreek Hill scores the 75-yarder, I think almost on the next play on the ensuing kickoff, and then the next play he hits the 75-yarder. If Gostkowski misses that 50-yarder, now all of a sudden you're down instead of tied. That game-winning field goal becomes a game-winning touchdown, you know, the necessity of that. So Gostkowski, you're right. He's had a lot of haters over the last couple of years. A lot of people saying that maybe he's over the hill or done, and the Patriots need to look for his replacement moving forward. A couple of big missed kicks and missed extra points in playoff games, I think, will do that to you in these parts. But tonight, he was clutch. He was money. He was a great kicker tonight.
I will say this, though. The one critique that's going to happen on him, and Evan, I want you to clear some stuff up for us here.
The
kickoffs.
Yeah.
A lot of short kickoffs, giving up returns. Do you think that was by design? Were they trying to force the Chiefs into returns, or is it actually his leg starting to go as he, hits the upper years here?
Okay, well, one thing I'll say about this, someone else in the Patriots media needs to ask Bill Belichick the question, because I asked him the question after the Houston game, and I got scoffed at by him for saying that you can purposely kick the ball into the back of the end zone and force a touchback on every play. I will say this, I understand that people aren't going to believe me. They're going to say every team does that, right? Every team just booms it out of the back of the end zone. Why can't the Patriots do that every single time? Well, it's a cold night here, and if you're a baseball fan, you know on cold nights the ball doesn't fly the same way.
So you don't think that was by design? You think
I think
that
some of it was by design.
To reach the end zone?
I think some of it was by design, but I think that the fact you can't bank on the fact that he can boom it out of the end zone. And I know people are going to say late in the game he was able to do it. They finally went away from the short kickoffs and they boomed it out of the back of the end zone. That's true. I think that a lot of it was by design, and I think the Patriots like to pin teams deep. They feel very, very good about their kickoff coverage units, and they know if they kick it within the 1 to the 3 yard line, right around the goal line, they force guys to bring it out. They feel like they can win field position battles that way. It didn't work out all season, really. It hasn't worked out. I think that strategy, they need to revisit it. For whatever reason, their kickoff coverage units just aren't the same as it has been in years past.
So there you go. Rob Gronkowski, Sony Michel, Stephen Gostkowski, our 3 stars of the night. Anybody we should have included? Let us know in the comments down below or on Twitter at Patriots CLNS. For Evan Lazar, I'm Alex Barth. This has been the Foxborough Report for CLNS Media.